Hi and welcome to the WOOLapyk Podcast. Let's try it again. Hi and welcome to the WOOLapyk Podcast. My name is Ida and this is a podcast about knitting. Today, or for this little segment, I sometimes record my podcasts in segments, so bits and pieces throughout the month. And this is going to be segment 1 because I just have one thing to show you at the moment. And that is my sweater. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's E-U-N, and I'm pretty sure it's a Korean name. If you're Korean, let me know how to pronounce it. Yeah, and it's a sweater by a designer called November Knits. I also knit another one of her patterns, which is the Ju headband, and I have already uploaded that onto YouTube, or a video of me knitting that headband on YouTube. So this is my second pattern from her. This time, like I said, it's a sweater. It is a top down pattern, raglan shaped, which is, it has been a long time since I last knit a raglan sweater for myself. And it has some really dramatic, I even want to say, like very high splits or split hems, a split hem. Yeah, and I just really like that. I'm really into split hems, and so I thought that would be beautiful. And last time I didn't have the labels to show you for the yarn that I'm using, but I do this time. So I'm gonna start out by showing you. Oh, if I talk about last time and you're like, you didn't talk about this in the last podcast, it's because that podcast was a Patreon only. So that's why, if you're like, I don't remember you talking about this, it's because it's just on Patreon. Yeah, but the yarn, I am using 2 different yarns held together. First one is this one, which is the Snelden. I don't know if it's there. Snelden, which is a yarn from the Faroe Islands, a 100% pure new wool from sheep on the Faroe Islands. I'm guessing that they're from the Faroe Islands. And also this yarn, which is called Number 9 by Yndling. And Yndling is a Danish yarn brand, and the wool is a 100% Danish wool. So this is just a very sort of rustic, local sweater to me, and that is just making me really excited. I like that. And here is the sweater. Let's hold it. So I've knit the neckband. It needs to be folded over. Then it has these what's that called? Kind of rib details down the raglan, and you obviously do increases on either side of that. And it's kind of hard to see because I'm almost at the widest part. I think I need to do maybe 2 more rounds of increases before I split for the sleeves. So yeah, here it is. The yarn is lovely. I really enjoy working with it. It's very rustic, but I just tried it on yesterday and I am so surprised by, I wouldn't say it's soft, but there was no itchiness or prickliness, and I do have quite sensitive skin, I think, or maybe I don't anymore, but it was just very comfortable to wear, and I was just surprised by that. I was just expecting me to find it a bit prickly, and also expecting me to only want to wear this with like a long sleeve shirt underneath, because it is quite warm. Like I said, it's 100% wool, both of these, and the gauge is 15 stitches per 10 centimeters, so it is quite thick. So I figured it would be like a outdoor type sweater, but I wore it with just a top underneath it and I was fine. So we'll see. Obviously I haven't tried it on the arms yet. Maybe I'm gonna change my mind once I try that, but so far just up here in the neck and the shoulders there was just no itchiness at all. So very pleasantly surprised by that. So here, yeah, and this, like, that split hem is like, I think it's gonna be hitting me right by here at the end of my rib cage. So I'm gonna split for the sleeves, and then I don't think I'm gonna do too much more sort of stockinette stitch in the round before I have to split. And the hems are ribbed like this, like a top part, so it's quite a long piece of ribbing for the front and the back. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually only working on this at the moment. I'm just very excited by it. I also have my Lille Aran by Lindholme, which is a sweater for Jakob. No, for Anton, who is my son. He's 2.5. Jakob is my husband, and I'm not gonna knit him a sweater right now. But I have that on my needles, and I really need to start working on that because I do want him to wear it this fall or winter. But it has a lot of cables, and so I need to just have full focus on that project when I work on it. And so I can only really work on that in the evenings, and often in the evenings I just want to work on this because Jakob and I are watching TV. At the moment we are watching a series about the PET, Politiets Efterretningstjeneste, which is like, is it like CIA in Denmark? I think it is. Special police force thingy, and we are really enjoying that. It's like it's talking about previous events that has happened here in Denmark, and what happened, how they prevented it, and maybe if they didn't prevent it, and sort of some of their methods for doing what they're doing. And I don't know, we're just really enjoying it. So if you are into that kind of thing and you are Danish, go have a look, because yeah, it's interesting, and there's a bit of suspense there as well, which I like. So yeah, but that's it for now. I'm gonna be back in a couple of days, weeks, with other things that I'm working on, which is gonna come right now if you're watching the podcast. I am currently at a little cottage in Jylland. Just woke up, so my voice is all funny. Jakob is going down the stairs now, coming in the door in a second, I'm sure. So the next thing I have is the mini mock neck tank. This one right here by Jessimae Designs. And I am in the middle of a row, which doesn't really matter because I'm not that far, so it's not like you really are missing on anything here. But I cast on here, you can see. Oh, so you cast on for the back neck first, and then you do like the back and then the front, and then you join in the round for the body. And there's something very interesting with this construction that I don't think I've done before. So she does short row shapings right here. So this is the neck, the back neck, and then she does the short row shaping here and here, so you get a little more fabric right around here, which makes sense because you do have like that, I don't know what you call those parts of your body sticking out here, but it does, yeah, you have just a little bit extra fabric here for that part up here, which I don't know what's named or called. And I think that's just very clever. I am very excited to wear this because I have heard so many people rave about how well this fits. And when you go onto Instagram, and which is something that I always do and that I would recommend if you don't already do that, when I want to knit something, I always go and check out the hashtag on Instagram, because that way you get to see whatever that it is that you want to knit, specifically if it's a garment, on a lot of different body parts or body shapes. And this one just really looks so great on everybody, on all body shapes. So okay, there, I think they're funny out there. So that is the mini magnet tank. I'm not gonna get any further with this. I am knitting this in Knitting for Olive's Pure Silk, which has no stretch or elasticity, so I'm a little nervous about how that's gonna work because this pattern does have negative ease. A few days ago I picked up my Lille Aran sweater for Anton. I have not worked on that for maybe a month or so, but I just felt like it yesterday. It was a colder day, and I think maybe I just remembered that I had that one on my needles, and I wanted that to finish that for him so he can wear it this season. So let me show you the pattern first. This is the pattern, the back of it, of course, and it's just an all over cabled pattern, but quite simple. As you can see, there's not really I mean, generally I find that cables are quite simple. Once you figure out what it's all about, it's just stitches that you slip from one needle to the other and you knit in a different sequence that you normally would, basically. So I think, excuse me, I think for cables, for me at least, the complicated part is that you need to follow the chart and like make sure that you do each row correctly. That is the complicated part for me. And I also wanted to show you how I do kind of try to keep track of how, I'm gonna do this so I can't see the whole thing. I just have these post-it notes and I just move them up as I knit. So this is the next row that I need to knit around. Once I've knit that one, I'll just move the post-its up, and that way it's easier for me to keep track of where I am in the pattern and how far I got, so I don't have to sort of read the knitting every time I put it away and bring it back out. So the pattern is from this book, Børnestrik by Line Holme Samsø. It's a Danish knitwear designer, and the title is in English is just Children's Knits, and there are so many wonderful patterns in here. I am making a little vlog for Patreon where I talk about future knitting plans, where I'm also talking a bit about what I want to knit from this one for Anton and Esther. Yeah, but this book is just, I love it. It has everything I need for my kids, I find, in terms of knitwear. It has sweaters and hats and cardigans and everything, and then different gauges. I think though most of the patterns in this book are at a gauge of 22 stitches by 10 centimeters. I don't know why I keep talking about this book actually, but yeah, I just really love it, and it has so many lovely patterns in there. You can see here some of them as well. I dream about this one for Anton. That would be fun, kind of fun. Here you can see them. So yeah, just a lot of beautiful designs. So let me show you how far I got on my knit for Anton. And this is slow going because, like I said, I need to keep track of what I am doing, and I feel like I've used a lot of time on this, and it's still just feel like it's barely there. Like I barely started. Is what it looks like. I am a little worried about the size. It is very stretchy though, so I think it's gonna be okay. I think I just had a vision of him wearing it quite oversized, and it's not gonna be oversized. I think it's gonna be basically the perfect size for him once it's finished, but it also means that he probably won't be able to wear it next year, which is really what I wanted for this sweater, just because it is taking me some time to knit. But yeah, I am using some yarn from De Rayon Natura right here, which is a 100% merino wool from France. And yeah, it's lovely to work with. I like it. I have knit, I think, maybe a pair of gloves or something in that yarn too, and I really like that as well. I am using a stitch marker from a previous, where is it? Can you see it? From a previous advent calendar right here, Christmas Tree by Trinity, the name of the lovely lady who made these for me for the advent calendar. Yeah, it's always fun with different memories. I find like this one always reminds me of that advent calendar. Well, it reminds me of my advent calendars. I honestly can't remember which colorways were in what advent calendar, to be honest. But Anton is sitting right here. He's watching a little TV show while I'm doing a recording, because now it's just too dark in the evening after getting the kids to bed to do a podcast. So he's right here in front of me. Another thing that I have on my needles is a test knit that Creadia Studio. She contacted me and asked if I would want to test knit a pattern for her in my own yarn, and I don't have silk mohair currently that I dye, and the pattern uses 1 strand of a fingering weight yarn and then 2 strands of mohair, but I did have mohair, and coincidentally the mohair that I have is also the mohair that is used in the pattern, so it works out quite well. So I'm knitting another gray sweater like the one you saw, the sweater, with a very big, I would say this one even has like a dramatic split hem. It's more than a split hem because basically it splits right under the arm. So I am at the point now where I need to split for the hem here. So you can see I just finished the yoke and I have split for sleeves, and I need to start the hem right now. So it's very, yeah, dramatic, I think I would call it. And I have knit 1 sleeve and am currently doing the folded over neckband. And this is knit on a size 9mm needle, so it really feels like it is flying off the needles. It goes so fast. Even for me, I find the pace is just wonderfully fast. Yeah, I just need to help Anton. It's knit on a size 9mm needle for the body, and then you have a size 8, I think, for the cuffs here, and also for the bottom hem, I'm assuming. And then a size 6mm for the neckband. And I am really enjoying it. And even though I keep thinking, is it silly that I'm knitting 2 sweaters, raglan, both of them are raglan, both of them are gray, different types of gray. Obviously, you just saw the other one, it's a lot lighter. And the yarn is also very different, so it's not like it's the same sweater, but they both have that really deep split hem. I don't know, but I just really love this sweater, and I commented on that on her Instagram. I think maybe that's why she contacted me, and I had planned that I wanted to knit this anyway, and then she asked if I wanted to test knit, and I was like, yeah, why not? So I hope I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of both of them. I know that I like those split hems, so hopefully I'm gonna wear them both a lot this winter. And since this is so quick, it's just for me very motivating to pick it up, knit, even if it's just for 15 minutes, knit for 15 minutes and then actually see a progress on a sweater is wonderful, compared to my Lilian sweater with all the cables, that I don't really feel like I see that much difference of progress on that one. So in that sense they work perfectly, working a bit on the Lilian and then working on this one, which is called Delta sweater. Yeah, so the yarn that I'm using is my own. This is a non-superwash 100% merino in the Ketla colorway, which is the name of a character or a dragon in a Astrid Lindgren book, Brødrene Løvehjerte. Lionheart Brothers, maybe in English, I don't know, that would be my guess. And it has it's a gray with specks of purple, and I'm holding that together with 2 strands of this yarn, which is a silk mohair by Yndling. I have it brand right here, and I'm holding 2 strands of this together, and it's a beautiful, I mean, I really like the color of the mohair. It doesn't even show up here. It's very shiny and lovely when you look at it, but I will say it is extremely like there's just so much fluff in the air. And I have heard people talk about knitting with mohair and how it's just been flying about and going in their mouth and in their nose, and I never really have experienced that. Something funny is going on. And I never really have experienced that with the mohair I have been working with. And I have been working with a few different kinds on my own yarn mohair, but also like more commercial brands. So that has been really annoying, I will say. I have actually started going outside and then sort of pulling the yarn together with this, so holding all 3 threads together, just pulling it out of the skein and then re-skeining it into a little ball, knitting with it, and then doing it over again, just because all that fluff just is annoying when you're knitting. But I will say, once I'm knitted with it, and this one doesn't really feel like it is super, like there's a lot of fibers flying in the air, so I think it's just the initial starting point with knitting with the yarn. That's my thoughts of it. I don't really, I've had this close to my face and it doesn't really feel like there's so much fluff going on. So, well, maybe a little bit. So I think it's gonna be fine once I have knit, or once it's all knit into the garment, and maybe also once it gets a bit of a wash and everything. So, but besides that, it's a lovely silk mohair. It's nice, soft, fluffy, and very shiny, which is really, maybe you can see it a bit right here. It is gorgeous. It's, yeah. Yeah, and like I said, the pattern is called Delta Sweater. I think it's going to be out next month, and it's by Creadia Studio. And I'm knitting a Danish version. I think it's going to be available in English as well at the same time. I hope this is going to be done next time. The last thing is that and that's a finished object, and you may have seen this already because I have done a little vlog about knitting this, but in case that's not your thing and or you haven't watched it, this is the Jew headband, also by November Knits. And like I said, it did a whole video of this, so video log of this, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I mean, I feel like I've talked about it a lot, and it is just a headband. Used my own hand-dyed yarn in the Kapow colorway, held together with a silk mohair from Isaiah, and yeah, I'm quite excited about it. I think I'm gonna be knitting a few of these for gifts this year. If I am gonna knit anything for gifts this year or for this Christmas, it's gonna be this pattern. It's very quick. If I do it again, I will do it with a provisional cast on, and well, not cast on, off, but I'm gonna do a provisional cast on, and then I'm gonna graft them, kitchen them together, so I don't get this ridge here, but you can see that. See it there, you can see it, the seaming through the headband. Just, I think that's gonna be looking nicer and more even if I do it that way. So basically, because the seam is gonna be invisible. Yeah, but you can go and have a look on that video blog if you want to know more about this lovely little headband. That is gonna be all for now. I think I did record the first part of this video on another memory card, and I don't know where that is, so maybe I'm gonna have to go back and redo that. I hope I can find it. Thank you for watching. If you are on Patreon, thank you again for supporting me and yeah, just making it possible for me to do these videos. And I will talk to you next month. Bye. Oh, and another thing, I would appreciate it if you would give this video just a thumbs up, or like a like, or a comment. It's just nice for me to see that people are watching it, rather than just seeing the views, which I can tell. You can see on the bottom how many people have watched a video. So I would appreciate it if you would do that for me. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.